Imagine, if you will, a boat at sea. It is sailing through the waves up and down. But then a storm hits. And when the storm clears, the boat's gone, and you're thinking, this isn't the Bermuda Triangle. This wasn't the River Clyde. Where has the boat ended up? If you were on the boat, you would know. You've ended up in a world slightly different from ours, from yours rather. A world where everyone's favourite song is anything but Dance Monkey. The writers of Dance Monkey don't have dirt over the people who own Google and YouTube so that their song plays in every fucking advert in the world. Dance Monkey does not exist here. And apart from that, everything else is a little bit kooky and wacky and definitely silly. Welcome to the silly dimension. I bought a clown horn.
That was... Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Oh, I bought a clown horn.
Oh, well,
You
can't be a clown without one.
I have been hiding that from Cameron since I bought it.
That's class. That is actually really good.
So there was one for like a $5 that was just like a straight line. I was asked not.
No, you need the bend in it. You need to be...
So I paid...
You need to be hoo-ha.
I think I paid... This was like £9. So I paid an extra £4 for this. And honestly...
Worth it.
Worth it. Very loud though. I didn't expect it to be just as loud. Like, I expected it to be like loud, but that's fucking loud.
Yeah. I heard that, I think, through the Zoom call, just across the streets of Glasgow.
Yeah. Yeah. It arrived like a week ago, and I thought it was a screwdriver set that I bought as well, because I broke the screwdriver that they left in the flat. I was like, one of those ones that it's not like it's got like all the interchangeable heads, and it's on like a mechanic thing, so you don't need to keep taking it out and moving your wrist back. It spins it back.
Yeah.
Shit. It was one of them, and then as I was building my deck, I got to like the last few like screws to tighten. It just fucking like fell apart in my hand. So, and then I went like looking for all the parts to put it back together, and I couldn't find them all. So I bought a screwdriver set. So I arrived and like Emma went to the door, and I was like, "Oh, I think that's my screwdriver set." Then I came in, and I just... Is it like
a pink B&M her first toolkit, one of those ones?
No, it was just a Titan screwdriver set, and it's on the floor, but I'm not asked.
That's what I'd be buying, like.
But yeah, so I was like, I think it's that, and then I got in and I just started like firing about with it, and I was like, I didn't actually say to Emma or Rachel that and I've realised now I've still not told them that I bought a clown horn. So for like a week now, they might have just been hearing it going, what's going on?
I think you've got like really, really strange music taste now. I mean, they already did think that, but now they think that even more.
Yeah, me and my wee clown horn. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Silly Dimension. This is a pop culture conversational chat and shite podcast where we talk about things that hold our collective interest, discuss them, and get a wee bit silly. We're here to talk about the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I've been calling Falcon and the Winter Soldier for so long, and now I've been seeing everyone on Twitter call it The Falcon. And it is The Falcon. Yeah.
Because I suppose just being a Falcon and Winter Soldier would be a bit funky.
Yeah, but you always call Bucky the Winter Soldier, but you never call Sam the Falcon.
You never call Falcon the Falcon.
Yeah, he's always just Falcon. So I just thought it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, well.
But
I
was the wrong.
Slick.
So,
that's what you get. I'm not reacting to that.
Well, it's going to be a long ride, buddy.
Drown your sorrows in some water.
It's coming directly for the Clyde. This is 90% alcohol because the junkie's just passionate.
The other 10% is just, my TV's just turned itself on.
Oh, hello.
Got some lovely blue light here, boys. There we go.
So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, before we get sidetracked anymore. Let's crack on with it. We'll go through the narrative beats, give our silly commentary. And I realise this is off camera, so when I lean in, my whole head goes missing. My charger from my laptop fell in the back of the desk. That's a pain in the ass. Anyway, so it starts off with Sam on the plane.
Well, there's like a I seen where he's putting on a suit and stuff first, is there not? And
Oh yeah.
this, I was like, what's this man doing? Start the show, he's putting on a suit. Pff, where's this man going? And then I saw the shield, and I was like, oh, it's Cap's funeral. I see the error of my ways.
Yeah. And then obviously in the back we hear the audio of their conversation at the end of Endgame, where Sam says, the shield is someone else's, and Steve telling him it's not, it's yours.
Am I the only one that is? Steve sounded a hell of a lot more frail when you could just hear the audio. Do you not think?
Yeah, he sounded like really like he'd just been jumped on his way to get his pension.
Definitely just. Well, it's not. It's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Like, why don't you go shout at people for wearing baggy jeans out your front door? Why don't you just do that, Steve?
Why don't you go tell people to get off your lawn, old man?
Why don't you have a lawnmower that you can't control anymore, so your son has to come round and do it for you?
And you moan about him every fucking time he cut his late.
Aye, and he doesn't cut the grass to your liking, but why don't you do it? Oh wait, you're 97 and the lawnmower would break your arms. Dick.
Nah, Captain America, that man would be like, well, I suppose when you think about it, he's like, he's like 160 or something at that point, is he know? He was frozen for like 70 years, and he's like 100. And then,
right.
Like 6 years. He went back.
So wait, they say in
the 50s.
Wait, how old does Bucky say he is?
113?
I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Because how old is MCU Cap?
104. Sorry. Well, no. 106.
Right. There's an article here called "We Finally Know How Old Captain America Was at the End of Avengers Endgame." Just give me the number.
We're a very professional podcast. We do our research before we start recording.
So it says here that question has finally been answered. 106, but there was also 65 years that he was just frozen.
Yeah, when he like.
So he was.
There was the time when he was frozen, and there was the time when he went back in time and like spent time with Peggy.
So they're saying 106, and that's how many years he's been unfrozen. Plus what he went down in 45.
Yeah,
I believe. So at the end of the war, 45. He goes down in 45, and he comes back in 2012 because it's just before the attack on New York.
11, yeah.
So he's been in there for like another 60, 61. So he's close to 170. So I personally think I could batter Captain America. Not at the peak.
Nah,
but see at Stark's funeral. If I'd have pulled up at Stark's funeral while no one was looking and just popped them one, nothing would have happened.
Well,
because he's so full of like he's not like I'll catch him when he's alone. See, like when he was sneaking up to the bench when no one knew he was there. Wow, hit him with one, and then he's not going to tell anyone because he's like so full of like truth and justice and the American way and all that shite. So he'll be like, "Oh, I failed."
Hey, I understand. I'm here. You haven't seen me for a while, and I've just done something that was kind of shady. But you see that guy over there with the long hair? He just punched me.
I'll disappear like a ghost in the night. I have the agility of a cat.
No, you don't, Jay.
Specifically, the cat when Charlie puts the kitten mittens on it.
Not since Catty closed.
The cat that Charlie put kitten mittens on that falls off the table. I am that cat specifically.
Yes, I actually watched that episode the other night.
That's phenomenal. So we get the sort of scene where
yes, and then the plane.
Yeah, and then we get the plane. So Sam is out in, I believe they're in Tunisia. Yeah, they are in Tunisia. And some army or Air Force captain has been kidnapped by a group of terrorists. And Sam has to save them before they cross over into Libyan airspace. Because then that's the whole thing. Yeah. This scene was fucking class. It was so good. And also,
It was really good, yeah.
so Sam sort of flies out, then he gets into the plane first before he just starts getting like shot at with everything, doesn't he? He like flies up to the plane.
Yeah, he like flies up to the plane and he's looking through like the window from the outside.
Yeah, so he flies up to the plane, gets in, and then we've got a return of Bartrock, George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
And I thought it was class.
Really good.
Yeah, because obviously he's like one of the most accomplished MMA fighters of all time, one of the the UFC greats, and it's just so cool having him in because I'm assuming a lot of that fight choreography is on him as well.
Yeah, it must be.
Because especially because the two times he's been involved, obviously there are like big fantastical like fist fights in the MCU, but the two times he's been in, specifically that and Winter Soldier, it doesn't feel like superheroes are throwing hands. It just feels like, all right, what's happening? Let's go. And I really like that when he shows up.
It's very grounded, yeah.
Yeah, it's just very like weighty and grounded in reality, which probably has a lot to do with him. So then they have a fight on the plane. Then what? How does he get knocked out? Does he just get like clocked, or does someone like? I know he's also beating folk up with the wings as well.
Yeah, he's going ham, to be honest.
Yeah, and then
using the wings to like deflect bullets and stuff.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what happens, but the next thing we know, we look over, and Bartrock and all his men have put on like wingsuits, and they've grabbed the army captain, and see that shot of the guy like pretty much like taped to the dude with a wingsuit with like the GoPro.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was so cool.
That was really.
So yeah,
they've
then
done a great job with the way they've like the cinematography on these Marvel shows so far. Anyway, they've done a really good job with them.
So yeah, then Falcon goes out chasing them, and they're sort of like they get the captain and they like fly into like a helicopter and drop the captain off there. And there's just a lot of shit as Falcons. Like then he starts getting chased by helicopters, and it's just
there's missiles going everywhere.
Yeah, it goes from like, as we said, like grounded, fighting on a plane to pure like Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible 7 spec.
Oh, yeah.
And it was class.
He does like one of my favorite. He does one of my favorite like dogfight tropes, and that's using an enemy's missile to like blow them up. And I'm like, yes, that's inject that into my vein.
Oh, it's never not satisfying, because we always know it's coming when there's one homing missile that's not, because the rest of like bonk. It's always like there's always like 7 that get shot, and the other 6 have like hit each other or hit a mountain, or he's like dodged it and it's like went into the sea or some shit. There's always something like that. But there's always just this one that's fucking. It's woke up early this morning. It's ate its Weetabix. And it's so good. And I think as well, usually when stuff like this happens, we're seeing it with like, spaceships or planes, but there's something so, even though it is such an age-old trope, there's something about seeing like Falcon, just a guy doing it.
Yeah,
it makes it feel that wee bit,
especially when it's like.
Sorry, you go.
Especially when it's like it's against helicopters, these like normal machines that we're all very familiar with. It's not like it is these alien ships that we can't like what's the word? We don't have any experience with. We're using things that we're all very comfortable with, and just watching a guy fly through the doors and then lead a missile. It's very.
Yeah, I think as well.
It's very fresh. So it's a new take.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, because it is just him, like just a guy flying, as I've said, it gives it like a much bigger stake as well. It feels a lot bigger than most sort of normal dogfights do, especially considering this was like right at the start. So we've got no real reason to be attached right now, except for the fact this is, what I mean?
Yeah.
So after
if you're
that,
coming to the show fresh, this is your introduction to it.
Yeah, but after that, do we have the? So he saves the captain, obviously, because he's one of the good guys. And then do we cut to Bucky's nightmare?
The scene with
or is it when he's having the coffee?
No, the scene with Yeah, it's the same with the coffee, I'm sure.
Yeah, so he's then in like a bazaar in Tunisia with one of the guys that he's like working with, and
One of the guys, just one of the guys.
I forgot his name.
Your man took up the Falcon mantle.
So he did.
Yeah, but Torres, bro.
Aye. So I'm a tired boy. I woke up like half an hour ago.
That's true. Actually, I'll give you that. I'll let you have it.
So they're sat, having a conversation, and a wee Tunisian guy walks up, and he's like, "Avengers, you're one of the good guys. You brought my wife back." And then he's just there, kind of awkwardly being like, "Yep, I did it. I did it." And then we get the explanation of this new terrorist group that is setting itself up as the big antagonist right now, but I'm not entirely sure Zemo's involved with them. I think they might be a red herring.
Yeah, the Flag Smashers.
Bad name. Very bad name. They couldn't even pick something, especially considering
it was the name of a Captain America villain. Like, it was called the Flag Smasher, and so now instead of bringing him in, they've kind of just used his name as like a group.
But
so I don't know if he's
I
actually going to come in at some point.
Yeah, maybe. But I know because obviously their whole thing is that in the 5 years of the blip, apparently the world banded together. People just stopped fighting wars for oil, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? Could be a lot worse." Half of everyone just fucked off and disappeared. So why don't we stop looking at the world as a bunch of countries, and why don't we look at the world as one planet where we can all get along? And then the second everyone got blipped back into existence, the Americans were like, "Right, we're taking that fucking oil now." We have to assume. You have 100%. To assume.
It must have been the Americans. Like...
There's no way anyone else in the world would go from like, "Oh, look at this, peace in our time," to, "You know what, we got everyone back." You're right, they are arseholes. It's got to be the Americans. So the Flag Smashers...
Unless Putin didn't get blipped. Unless Putin didn't get blipped and Biden did, and then Biden came back and Putin was just like, "Nah, fuck that dude." I thought I was gone with him, and then war.
Yeah, but no, it's 100%.
Oh, that's my take on the American-Russian political situation there.
But yeah, so we find that the Flag Smashers' whole thing is they don't want countries anymore. They just want to have the world be the world. And honestly, why do we hate them? Why do we hate them? They literally went
now. They're kind of
their whole thing.
It's nice wholesome anarchy. Like, I'm not gonna hate these guys.
Yeah, literally. The explanation we get is that when it was gone, they think things got better because the world began to heal itself because everyone was being sad that they lost half of everyone. And then everyone came back and the world just started fucking having wars again. And they're like, "You know what? This is shite because we proved we don't need to do this." And I don't know why we're meant to boo these men. But
especially as well because the only like evidence or explanation we have as to why it's bad is they were like, "Yeah, they think things were so much better during the blip," and then a character we've seen like in 3 scenes just went, "It wasn't," and we're all supposed to be like, "Damn."
Yeah, like a guy, because he's friends with Sam, we now have to believe and accept that. I would really like to see, especially if there is this. Oh, pardon me. There is this thing that the Flag Smashers want to go back to that, because literally by the explanation we were given, the world was much better in the blip. And no one was fighting wars, and everyone was like cool with each other. I want to see.
Sure, everybody might have been sad, but I bet you the death rate dropped.
Oh yeah, would it sucked if your wife of 40 years just like disappeared out of nowhere? That wouldn't have been great. But also think of all those like children in Yemen that weren't getting killed by a drone from someone piloting it 3,000 miles away just because they happened to be brown.
Exactly. Like. Wife for Yemeni children. I'll take that.
Like, honestly. But I would like to see maybe like a show, maybe not like a whole, like a 3-4 episode sort of miniseries. Of
They
even
could do
just
it with
something.
like What If or something. They could like in some of the stories there, if they set them during the blip, they could just kind of explore it
Suppose,
a wee bit and
yeah,
give us
just
more
give us more
motif.
depth to the blip instead of it wasn't good. And remember that guy who was 11 years old? Well, now he's 16. He's trying to get off with Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Yeah. I
That's
actually watched Far From Home again. Jeez, I forgot about that
yeah.
subplot.
So that's like it. The only things we know about what happened in the blip is that, you know, miraculously, all of Peter Parker's, I mean, there's not a big friend group, but all of Peter Parker's friend
Yeah,
group.
it's like two people.
It's two people.
Like two people in Flash.
It's two people in Flash, yeah, and then the two reporters from the school news as well.
Yeah, them as well.
Honestly, if that was me, I would have just had one of them come back. Because then you're
I think
like,
it would have
oh,
been better crack if they had both of them. I think it would have been better crack if they had both of them, and they said one of them blipped, and the other was meant to be like the younger sibling of the other. I think that would have been funnier.
that
And
would
it's
have
just
been
like
good.
identical.
That would have been really good, actually. Yeah, that would have been class.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Hire me, Disney.
but so yeah, we then get the explanation of the Flag Smashers and what they're up to, and then we find out that that you know that we're going to be monitoring online. We're going to see what they're saying on the internet. I imagine the Flag Smasher forums are like, here, do you remember that time when we could just go on holiday and not need to pay $400 for a visa? I don't think, like,
Yeah.
I think, see if this happened in real life, right? I obviously understand. I mean, I don't know what's going on the other side of the universe, but I imagine it's probably not a possibility. But if it did happen, right, and I didn't get blipped, once the blip was done and everyone was back, I imagine my yearning for the good old days wouldn't be, yeah, let's fucking rob a bank, let's kidnap a US Army general or captain or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, remember that time that flights to Japan were like £100 from Glasgow? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. It would just be sitting there being like, do you remember when like we could? Do you remember we could go to Glasgow Green and actually get a space to sit down?
I'd be like, do you remember you go to the pub and then like everyone wasn't in the pub? Like you could go to a pub on a Saturday night and get a table, handy.
Exactly.
But
honestly, I can't. I'm struggling to think of downsides here for half of everybody being dead.
Yeah, like
yeah,
all right,
dead.
you've lost like half your friend group. You still got half. You just would hope that the arsehole half are the ones that get blipped.
It's just the sound ones that are left. Hopefully the arseholes are the ones that go.
Yeah, exactly. So you just got to pray. But like, apart from that, you can make new friends.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I mean, it would make like, if you think about it,
everyone would be,
as journalists, half of all the like good journalists are now gone. So like,
and as
jobs
well,
and that
on the point of making friends, like everyone would then be out to like once we've all recovered from the emotional trauma of watching our loved ones just disappear.
Yeah.
Everyone would be out to make friends because they're like, you know what, fucking half of my pals have gone. So
exactly.
You know that way when you go on a night out and you just like
maybe have a chance with a neighbour.
I just made it horny.
For context, I asked out my neighbour for Valentine's Day and she said no. There we go.
How's your fucking stupid Valentine's date now? Is he fucking floating around in dust particles, is he? So we'll move on from the Flag Smashers because honestly, I like them. I'm on board with them. I want them to win.
Right now. And who's the strong dude? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
like the dude that was really strong was pure kicking folk about.
Yeah.
They're starting to bring in just more random people with powers, and I'm like, is this just how they're going to bring in mutants? They're just going to slowly bring in a trickle of just people with powers, and then 5-10 years time, but they're all mutants.
Maybe you could use
because now you've got like Monica from WandaVision. Obviously, like we saw her get her power, so it's not really that mysterious and stuff. But then like this new guy as well, and Loki has the perfect opportunity to show stuff like that off, since it's going to have so many different like settings and heroes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's how they're going to do it. It's just
I
gonna
think
be,
I
like,
think
a
maybe you
slow
could as
drop.
well. I understand that the evolution happens over thousands, if not millions, of years. It takes a long time, but it's a superhero thing.
Get random.
It's a superhero thing. So you could be like, oh, certain people evolved the X gene through the stress of losing half of everyone in the blip, or maybe some
Well,
people
no,
came,
you could just be like, yeah,
or they came back
half
from the
of
blip.
people had their entire. You could just be like, no, half of people had their entire entire biological structure destroyed and then rewritten. That's changed some stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. But we'll get the big strong guy later on, because before that we then have Bucky's nightmare. Well, we don't know it's a nightmare,
Bucky's
so
nightmare,
I've
yeah.
just dropped a little spoiler there. So we just see Bucky full Winter Soldiered up, just mowing dudes down the hotel.
Oh, he's going ham.
Yeah, he's just straight, and it's like 2014 Bucky was like.
When I saw him in the guard, at first when I saw him like the thing, I was like, oh, is he like doing a mission or something? And then I saw him like attacking for, and I was like, oh no, this is brainwashed Bucky. Okay.
Yeah, and he's like proper like 2014 hunk Bucky with the eyeliner and the long hair, and what a handsome man. Bring back the long hair, honestly.
Yeah, no.
The long hair was a good look on Sebastian Stan.
I think he actually looks a bit sick when he's got the short hair.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Like I feel like the man is in like a terminal ward somewhere.
Or like he's recovering and he's like growing it back out. Because he's a very pale man.
He really is.
He's very really pale. Is. And I don't know, when his hair's short, it looks like really thin as well. So he's really pale with really thin looking hair, and it looks like it's like, you alright, bud? Do you want a cuddle?
Do you need like a wee sit? Do you need a sit down?
Aye, like it's the background. But then the most outrageous part of all of this, the entire nightmare sequence, it has to be when he wakes up and he's just sleeping on a carpet with a blanket and like a couch pillow. Yeah, like I've slept on a carpet floor before. It's not comfy. There's not that much between the carpet and wooden boards.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So
pardon me.
It's not. It can't be comfy. No wonder he's having nightmares and he's not sleeping right. He's not got a fucking bed.
No, but there was the whole thing. You don't mind in Winter Soldier when Sam was talking to Steve, and they were like, "Oh yeah, hardest thing about coming back is your bed's too soft, ha ha ha." And so now Bucky's sleeping on the floor because he thinks his bed's too soft. Because Marvel can't have a line that they use and not call back to it 6 years later.
I don't buy that, because he was off in Wakanda for like 5 years, hanging out. I don't imagine.
He even said here, he said like, yeah, I had a little bit of calm in Wakanda. I'm imagining he was awake and conscious on that farm for like literally like a fortnight, and then Thanos showed up. That's my reckoning here. Because you have to mind, a lot of the time he was in Wakanda, he was unconscious because they were trying to undo all the brainwashing and that. So
I suppose actually, yeah. But yeah, as I said, no wonder he's having nightmares when he is sleeping on the floor. Yeah. And then right after that, we cut to his therapy, I believe.
Yeah. You know what I want to know? How does a war hero who is 106 years old or whatever, who's saved the world or helped save the world, and fought for like half of the universe and everything, how have the government given that man a studio apartment?
Yeah.
Like, give him a wee one bedroom or something at least. Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, like I predicted in the last one, I didn't. I said they could use it as a chance to explore the military-industrial complex and how the United States government just kind of forget about the veterans, like as soon as they're back. They are surprisingly like, and they also they're finally going to look at class with Sam as well as race.
I think one of the characters actually I'm most excited about is Bucky's therapist. Because I was like, the way they're exploring Bucky's kind of PTSD like mental illness and his guilt and such, it's been really good. But having that through the lens of a therapist who is a soldier and is telling him, go around, find all your, go through this list of names and stuff, and just kind of tell them to piss off. Essentially, it's like that's quite a strange thing to tell.
Yeah, he's got like
superhero.
it's a men's list or something. So it's like
Yeah.
it's righting his own wrongs. So if that's like making it right with the family of the people that he killed, or getting people out of office that he helped put there whilst under for Hydra,
Stuff like that. Yeah.
just anything to help undo the bad shit that he did. So we see he's got like 3 rules. He can't he can't hurt anyone.
Yeah, no one gets hurt.
No one gets hurt. Can't break any laws.
Yeah, and he has to say the spiel.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm no longer the Winter Soldier. My name is James Buchanan Barnes. Like that.
Yeah. So we see him planting a bug on a corrupt senator's car to get her arrested for all the Hydra related shit that she has done and has been doing since he got her into office. And I think then his therapy session ends and he's walking home, and we find that he's got a nice relationship with an elderly Japanese neighbour.
Yeah. Well, semi-nice.
Yeah, well, it does get a bit grim, but him and his neighbour, they go out for lunch after he goes to therapy every week. And then
at first what I thought the relationship was, is at first I thought this guy was like one of the only people who remembered Bucky from like when he was younger, and that this guy was like 5 or 6 or something and lived in the same neighbourhood as Bucky in New York. And I thought that's what the relationship was going to be, and I could not have been more wrong.
Yeah, especially because, well, I'll explain why I wasn't thinking this was what it was later when we get to it. But so the 2 of them go out for lunch, and then the old man, I forgot his name, is it Nori?
Yori,
yeah. Yori asks the waitress out on Bucky's behalf, and he's now got a date.
My man was.
Yeah,
my man was standing up for his boy.
It's like you know when you're out and you're out with your pals, and then one of your pals like, oh, she's quite cute, and then you go to the bar and you're like, see him, and either they're just going, leave it, stop.
Oh.
That was this. But Big Yori didn't give a shit. He was there. He's like, I'm 94. I don't give a fuck.
I'm the king.
What a guy. So yeah, he asks the waitress out. Excuse me. On Bucky's behalf. She says yes, and then we know that Bucky has a nice little date. I think, what was next? The Smithsonian?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we then go to the Smithsonian, and Sam is giving a speech about how, the shield doesn't feel like it's his, and for that reason he is donating it to the Smithsonian Museum, I guess, I don't know what the Smithsonian is. It's preserving like human culture or American culture or some shit. I don't know.
Just cool stuff, I think.
Yeah.
It's just kind of everything, isn't it? They've got they've got a pure bit of space and
they've got
anything that's a historic moment. They're like, you know what? Sure, we'll take it.
Yeah. So they've got like a whole like Avengers exhibit.
Yeah.
And you see like all the stuff with like Steve when he was, just a wee little runty boy. You've got Bucky back when he was a soldier with him. You've got, just everything sort of up until now. I was looking, but I couldn't see anything. I was thinking maybe with everything that's gone on, we might have some little Easter eggs to things we're yet to see, maybe in shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see anything, but there probably is more.
Almost definitely, but it's the kind of thing that'll be hidden stuff. People probably won't find them for weeks.
Yeah, I know. It'll be like as well. It'll be stuff that we won't know until like Black Widow comes out or Loki comes out or something like that.
It'll be a reference to something we just haven't seen yet, so we won't get it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Because I was going to see maybe they would like, because I feel like they know, especially if they have an Avengers exhibit, everyone's going to be doing that. So maybe instead of referencing the Black Widow movie through the lens of Natasha, we'll be referencing it through someone we've not met yet.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I don't think... I don't know if I'm excited for Black Widow or not, because I was so excited last year, but it's been a year, and like, oh, it's coming out cool.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I'll just need to
Uh,
wait and see, like after I've seen it. I suppose I'm not terribly excited for it.
Yeah,
But
I just think all my excitement was definitely there a year ago,
aye.
and now it's
Oh God, I've just
but
looked at the date, and it's a year since lockdown started.
oh well, I've been in for over a year, so
All right, big boss, calm down. Fuck.
um, but yeah, like I was definitely excited for it last year, and now I just don't know how I feel about it. Like I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure I'm gonna have a good time, but
What? It's been so long. Like
yeah,
I'm hyped for the stuff that's was meant to come out after it now, and it's just weird. But
yeah.
well.
So, oh, I'm so tired. I can't remember who Sam was having the conversation with in the Smithsonian. I'm drawing a total blank here.
What do you mean?
Well,
He was just talking.
but is there not a bit where he goes over to the exhibit and he starts talking to someone?
I don't think so.
Oh well, I might have just made that up.
Scene.
I might have just made that up then.
I don't think that was a scene.
Oh, I could have sworn he was like speaking to someone important. Like,
Well, but Roddy was there.
Roddy,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I was like, because in my mind I was like, it's not Happy, but someone like Happy.
Turns out it actually wasn't Roddy. It's just they'd recast that Iron Man as Don Cheadle. So we actually had a Tony Stark cameo there.
Yeah. I just want Don Cheadle with every character. We've been over this, not on here before, but we have been over our dreams.
Every recast in Hollywood should just be Don Cheadle, like no matter the role.
Don Cheadle or who else did we say? If Don Cheadle's already if Don Cheadle's got if Don Cheadle's like, listen, I can do 14 parts in this movie, but 15's fucking pushing it.
Yeah, fair. I don't know, but I'd like to see 14 Don Cheadles against one Michael Cera. I think that would be good crack.
It's just Don Cheadle, but we give Michael Cera the Iron Patriot suit.
Yes, yeah.
Make it a fair
But
fight.
like when Bucky's meant to be outside the suit, it's still Don Cheadle. It's only when he's inside the suit it's Michael Cera. Like as soon as that helmet closes, his skin just loses all the melanin. It just leaves him.
I'm coming in hot, boys. Oh, I got missiles. Oh.
I've been hit, guys.
I shot the missile. It blew it up. Did I do it right? Did I do good? I don't know.
Love you, Scott.
So then after the museum, we go to Sam's family's boat, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Sam then drives from the Smithsonian back to Louisiana to see his sister and his two nephews. Yeah, because I'm sure he does have a conversation with someone because he was like, I got blipped out and they were kids and now I come back and they're like 10.
Yeah.
So he goes over to see them and then we find out that his sister isn't making enough money and she's looking to sell their parents' fishing boat just to keep up the payments on her house. And, she's not turning a lot of money. And Sam's like, well, look, I own half this boat. Mum and Dad left it to us, not just you. So I should be consulted before you can think about selling the boat. And then Sam goes, look, we get all our finances in order. We'll go to the bank and we'll get a loan out to cover the costs of doing up the boat so we can use it for more commercial purposes like doing trips and stuff.
Yeah, like ferrying people and stuff.
Yeah. So I think it's quite soon. We'll just sort of, I guess, wrap this plot up before we go into the thing with Bucky and his date. Yeah. We'll just go through this just for handiness because it jumps kind of back and forth between the two. And they don't interact with each other in this episode, so I
have a wee theory about how they're going to end up teaming up, and I hope it's true because again, it's one of my favourite film tropes. But we'll talk about that at the end.
Also, I meant to say earlier when you were talking about Bucky's therapist, have you seen because I went through and like watched all the trailers before we came on here last time, just so I kind of knew everything that was out there. Have you seen the one where they're both in therapy?
I think I've seen a wee clip from it, yeah, but I've not watched the full thing.
So she like says to them, she's like, right, turn and look at each other, and I want you to, have a conversation as partners or whatever. And they don't say anything, and they're just staring at each other. And are you guys having a staring contest? And then it just gets on. I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. So yeah, as Sam and his sister then go to the bank to apply for this loan, and they get there, and the guy, and this is, like I said, we've already sort of been over how the government just doesn't care once you get back from war with Bucky.
Yeah.
Then this is where they properly take a look at race and class. And once again, how the MIC is just the worst thing in the world. So they get there to the bank and they get all the stuff out, and the guys are like, oh, wait a minute. I know you. And he's like, did you play? And he was like, nah, wait there, I'll give you an idea. And then he like holds his arms out or something. He's like, oh, you're Falcon. Can I get some selfies? And they're like, yeah. So he starts taking selfies with him. And then Sam's buzzing because he's like, right, we're fucking getting this loan.
Yeah, it's like, I'm Falcon, this dude ain't going to say no.
Yeah, he's like, look how excited he got to meet Falcon. He's going to give Falcon the money. And then he's like, oh no, we can't offer you it because you have no credit history for 5 years.
I have to respect the banker because he knew what he was about to say, and he was like, I need to get these photos before.
But no, that's where he fucked up, because after he rejects the loan, he then asks if he can get one where he's holding his arms out. You get that one first. You're like, hey, can you do that real quick? Can you do that real quick? Yeah, that's the one you put as your Facebook profile picture. That's going to get a lot of love and reacts. You don't wait till
that's your first on Tinder,
Yeah, that you don't wait till you've already pissed them off. You get that, and then you're like, oh, well, you can't fucking do it now. I've got the photos.
Exactly.
But he rejects the loan.
Amateur.
And he says, I can't give you this. Look, your finances are all over the place. And for you, Mr. Wilson, you have no credit history for 5 years. And he's there going, yeah, but so does half of everyone. And he's like, yeah, but that's... He's just like, yeah, but, I can't do anything about that. I didn't get blipped, so...
Why did banks still exist during the blip, honestly?
Oh, yeah. We should have just went back to the barter. I hope they went back to the barter system.
For those first couple of weeks, they 100% did. Folk were like, here, does anybody have some cola? I'll give you a toilet roll.
It's like I'm stocked up in toilet roll. Does anyone have like burgers?
That's how it went on for like a solid 2 months.
Yeah.
And then people started getting their shit together, 100%.
Yeah, because then they realised, they realised they were like, the Avengers haven't fixed it, so we may as well just fucking go back to what it was before.
Yeah.
But so he says, he's like, I can't offer you this, whatever. Then he has to take a photo with him, and like another one. Only you amateur, you fucked it, you biffed it. Bro. And as he's sort of explaining it all, he's like, look, we can't just give out loans to everyone just because they've been. Or no, he starts saying, he's like, you have no employment history, no anything for 5 years. And Sam's like, well, look, here are military contracts that I did before, proof of an income. I am doing more right now that I can't disclose, but here's proof that I have worked as a military contractor before. So that's proof that I'm at least a trusted contractor for them, which means there will start to be, more financial history. And the banker says something along the lines of, we can't just give out loans to everyone just because they got blipped. And his sister says, well, it's always people that look like us that always get denied. And I would see when she said that, it was a fucking gut punch, because white man number A walked in and was like, I went missing for 5 years and the bank gave away my business, give me $100,000 so I can restart it. And they were like, there you go.
True. But at the same time, I was sitting there and I was like, I don't think I would play the race card if a superhero was my brother. Like, I feel like that maybe supersedes the race card. But fair play. I mean,
well, the superhero card, I'm not saying they were playing it for sympathy points, but the superhero thing didn't work. He was like, you did get blipped out of existence, and you did fight. You and your friends fought to bring everyone back, and you killed the guy who did it. But I can't give you however much money you're looking for.
Man really said, thanks for saving the world, but fuck your boat.
Yeah, it was like, look, it's cool that like my daughter came back, but can't give you this, bro. Don't know how to break it to you.
Sucks to be you.
And then as they get back to Sam's sister's house, Sam gets some texts about flag smasher activity out in Switzerland.
Yeah, I think it was Vienna. Or that Vienna's Austria, so it must have not been Switzerland.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in the nice part of Europe.
Yeah, the nice like cool weather, but like warm summers.
That like there's a bad part. Yeah, exactly.
there is a bad part.
Really like nice chill.
There is a bad part of Europe, and it's. I mean, not anymore. I was going to say just like pure.
I was going to say England, but yeah.
But so your man's text, or no, before he starts texting, we see that he's out there. He's been out there to like what's the word?
Reconnaissance.
Yeah. Then like check up and do his thing on this flag smasher.
Beat out of him.
Yeah, so then he shows up to this thing. There's like a rally. They give him a mask. Then they all stand outside a bank as dude just jumps through the window with 2 duffel bags of cash. Well, we have to assume cash.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing the same mask as everyone else. Everyone starts running around to confuse the guards. He hands the bags off to 2 people. I'm going to be honest. I don't care that everyone's wearing that same mask. See if you put me next to Rey Mysterio, and then you put John Cena on the other side, and then you give the 3 of us Rey Mysterio masks. I think everyone's going to be able to tell who's John Cena.
That's true, but like, yeah.
You just like look for the big dude who's 6'8" and is barreling through everyone instead of all these.
That's why you handed the bags off. You didn't expect it to work forever. So,
but yeah. Then Torres, is it Torres?
Torres, yeah.
Yeah, Torres. As Torres goes over to stop him, he just gets the life beaten out of him.
He actually just gets like stomped.
Yeah. So what he's done as well is he's put his phone. He's like started filming on his phone.
Yeah.
Put it in his jacket and kind of zipped it up so the camera's just out, but it's like nice and secure for whatever's about to go down. Yeah. And yeah, then he just gets stomped the fuck out by this big dude.
I really wanted them to do like, the again it's pure trope, but like when you're seeing it from like the camera's point of view, and then you just see him like stomp, and that's how the shot ends. That's why that would have been good. Again, Disney, hire me, They
did that in a cinematic wrestling match last year, Moose versus EC3 at Slammiversary. They just had like a fight in an empty. They had like a fight in a wrestling school with people. It was a whole thing, but it was like a cinematic thing. And Moose just killed EC3, just pretty much killed him, murdered him. And there's a bit where he's like on top of him, like ground and pound, and then it just cuts to the camera angle of underneath it, and like Moose isn't even hitting the camera. He's just like elbowing over the side of it. It was weird. But to be fair, it's after that Moose went on and became like the best wrestler in the world. So fair play, I'll allow it.
Fair enough, eh?
But so yeah, so just after that, then we get the big episode ending reveal. But before we get to that, we'll circle back to Bucky.
Yeah.
So
Bucky's in the bar on his wee cute date, and they're playing. They're just being nice and wholesome. They're playing battleships. They're being cute. Bucky drops a 106 bomb, and she kind of just takes it. And
Bucky's also like having a strategic beer where he's like got the logo out, and he's just sitting there, and he's like, "See that?"
Also, it was Tiger, wasn't it?
Aye.
I lost so much respect for him in that moment.
You're like,
I was like, "You're drinking Tiger."
It's like you may be 106 on a date with like a really cute, like late 20s, early 30s girl, but bro.
Get your life together.
Aye, come on to fuck.
No wonder you're having nightmares. You drink fucking Tiger.
You sleep enough and you drink Tiger. Do better.
Exactly. But yeah, so she starts kind of asking these questions and
that's the thing. I don't think she believes he's 106. I don't think she knows who he is.
100%.
Because she's like, so how old are you? And he's like 106. She's like, okay. Did you get on with your parents? And he just looks at her like,
bitch, are you okay?
What do you mean?
But the thing is Bucky famous?
But here's the thing. I don't think he's publicising that that's who he is.
Yeah.
Because we forgot to mention, actually, and you'll probably see where this is going when we say this if you've not already seen the episode, but when he was at lunch with Yori starts talking about his son who died, and the police won't tell him anything, but he doesn't believe it was an accident.
Yeah.
And because the police won't tell him anything, he's so certain in his convictions that something did actually happen. And that was when it started to click for me that maybe Bucky's amends list isn't just the people that
it's not just the bad guys.
Yeah. So as he's having his date with this girl, who, to be fair, this is also what makes me... But maybe he is publicising it because... Well, we'll get to it, but I don't know if he's publicising that he's the Winter Soldier because she's like, okay, you're 106, all right, whatever. But, she starts asking him all these questions which he can't answer because he was a Winter Soldier for 80 years. He's not seen his mum and dad since 1945, or no, probably before that. Probably went out in 44, so he's probably not. So he's not seen his parents since then. So we have to assume they're dead.
Oh yeah, well I mean they'll be dead anyway.
Oh yeah,
his parents are only going to be 130. You know what I mean?
You never know. It's the MCU. Shit one if they were alive and one of them got blipped and the other one just then they come back and they're like, right, what's happening? Oh, dead. Cool, sound.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That'd be everything to happen in the black. That'd be the fucking worst. By far. If you spent 70 years of your life with somebody,
wake up one morning and they're just dead.
But not even that. Find out that 5 years have gone by and also
they're gone. Yeah.
Aye, it'd be hellish. But so they're having their cute wee battleship state.
Aye. And
also, as much as we said, the very unsubtle product placement of the Tiger, what makes it so much funnier is not only is it very obvious product placement in the most subtle way you can make product placement, obvious product placement subtle. It's not subtle at all, but it's still in comparison to other things we've seen.
It's the least invasive way to do it.
Yeah. But what made me laugh so hard is that they were playing a drinking game with battleships, and he keeps getting hit, so he has to keep grabbing the Tiger and fucking taking swigs at it.
But this man is the metabolism of a fucking cheetah. He's not going to get drunk.
Oh God! But it's so funny that it's already very clear that that's what they're promoting. But like I said, he's kind of sat over to the side. The camera's there, so you got the logo in, and then he's like, hit again. Fuck me. Oh, I missed. I need to take a drink now. Good thing I've got this delicious beer.
It's also, I want to know what bars just keep board games around.
Oh, there's loads of bars.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I've been going to the wrong fucking places.
So yeah, then she starts talking about his friendship with Yori.
Yeah, and it kind of cuts to some of the flashbacks you see earlier in Bucky's nightmare, and you start to you realise because as Bucky's in his nightmare, as he's killing this whoever it is, some guy just gets his wrong place, wrong time, and he's trying to get into his apartment, sorry, and he's just witnessed the Winter Soldier kill about 3 people.
I've actually just clocked that was his son, just now. I thought,
really?
Yeah, because at the time because now that I'm thinking about it, it was an Asian American actor that played the guy.
Did you see a photo of him? You see a photo of him in Yori's apartment? Yeah,
but I put it on at 9 a.m. I got up at 9:30 and immediately stuck it on, so I was a bit ready to watch it. I wasn't entirely with it, and I've not went back and watched it since, but I've just clocked it when you said it. Because obviously we do zoom in on a photo of him, but I think the next thing was what's done. They zoom in on the photo of it, because he ran up to Chappa's door in the middle of the night, and it was as if he went up with the intention of telling him, and then I think he said he was like,
he saw the photo and he just kind of shat it a bit.
And he was like, I think he just said thank you for being my friend or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it was something like that, yeah.
And then he pulls out his notebook, his amends list notebook, and it's the name at the top of the list, isn't it? Is it
2 or 3 down or something, yeah, but it's circled.
Yeah, it's I think there's the ones around it are crossed out but there's a big circle
It was the
around.
only one that was circle. Yeah, it was the only one that
Yeah,
was
and
circle.
it's Yuri. It's Yuri's. Is it? He shares a second name with a wrestler that I like. So is it Takahashi? Is it Ishimori? Is it Nakamura? I don't know. I like a lot of Japanese wrestling.
I don't know.
He's got it circled. But then we'll go back to the thing with Sam, the big episode ending reveal.
Oh well, that's Bucky's. Sorry. Bucky's like he's thinking about this as his date's talking, and he just fucking stands up and goes, "Excuse me," and just leaves.
Yeah.
And that's how that kind of thread ends. And then he goes and sees Yuri.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Sam.
Yeah. So back to Sam. It's after he sees the thing from Torres of getting stomped out by the Flag Smashers. His sister sort of comes through. I'm going to find out Yuri's second name because it's going to annoy me. Oh, it doesn't say. It just says Yuri.
Sure.
Aye. Cool. Love that. But, so yeah, he goes, so then Sam's sister comes through. She says, you got to watch TV. Turns around and there's someone at the front of the Smithsonian giving a press conference. And this is another reason why I'm 100% behind the Flag Smashers.
Yeah. The US government's just been doing some shady shit.
Yeah, the true to form. They come out, and there's a guy there, and he's like, all that time we had heroes defending Earth. But why are no superheroes defending America? Like, fucking shut up.
Quite literally shut up. You had Falcon yesterday literally just be like, you know what? This is a bit too big of a responsibility for any one man.
Yeah.
I don't think we should leave this to the only person who could ever do it justice, leave it in his legacy.
Yeah.
And then the US government was just like, I mean, that's nice and all, but...
He was like, that's nice, but why don't we have a hero specifically designed for killing Iraqi children? Did you...
Why don't we have a Christian white man holding that shield?
Yeah, he's like, that's all well and good what you did by putting, the legacy of your friend and like trying to preserve it in the Smithsonian forever. But what if we had white guy number 4 kill just anyone indiscriminately in the Middle East with his pet drone?
Also, the suit looks shit. The suit looks bad. I mean, the suit looks good, like for a show and stuff, but just as suits go, it's pretty fucking shit.
But I think that adds to it. I think it's there specifically to wind us up. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah. Also, like I saw it. I saw the guy, and then he's got like the fucking mask on and everything. I was like, "Is that fucking Wyatt Russell?" And it was. And I was like, "Hey, good actor for him, I suppose." But still.
But yeah, so as the big episode ending reveal is that the United States government now have their own hero, specifically to protect America, and they've now just fucking given him Captain America's shield.
Yeah, big John Walker.
Yeah, and that is how the episode ended.
Yeah, it ends with Sam just kind of watching that unfold on TV. Where do you think we're going? How do you think Bucky and Sam will actually meet up?
I think Bucky's going to find out that the shield has been given. After Sam made this big grand gesture to preserve it as a piece of history, it's been immediately, like as you said, the very next day, taken out of its display case and given to someone else for more propaganda. I think Bucky's going to be like, no, I watch, and he's going to add his name on the amends list. And even though it's not something he caused, he wants to write it, and he's going to go up to try and fuck up his whole day, week, month, year, whatever. And then Sam will be, because I imagine the US agent is stationed in a fucking government office or something. No, not stationed, but he's going to be in and around the press for a while.
As soon as that happened, he was shipped to fucking Libya or something. Like just immediately. He was just sent on to go.
I think Sam is going to have a meeting with the guy who decided it's time for America to have their own superhero, even though they had one called Captain America. It's fucking... but that's the thing as well, which I think is just so incredibly short-sighted. And I don't know, obviously. I mean, like I said, I think this is the perfect opportunity to look at the injustices of the US government and shit like that. But the fact that they were like, you know what? You know what's more important than the whole world? America specifically. Because we've never had one for America specifically. When the guy leading the charge against the guy who fucking killed half of all life the two of them was the fucking blueprint of the American dream. And Captain America.
Yeah, like, and one of them probably paid literally like half the fucking tax in all of America. Like,
yeah, like,
bruh.
Yeah, just stress me out. But obviously, I think it's obviously going to be talking about propaganda and nationalism on a less covert way than Ragnarok. And I do think as well. I know it's going to be quite grim, but I have a weird feeling. I have a weird fucking feeling that a US agent's going to Sam's face be like, yeah, but the people don't want to see a black man with a shield. I have a weird feeling we're going to
100%. Absolutely 100%.
No, but like,
I know exactly what's going to happen as well.
But I don't think
and the music's just going to stop.
But
and it's just going to...
See, here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be like... Because obviously you can't do that subtly. And obviously I don't think they're going to drop the N-word on Disney+. But
no chance.
I don't think it's going to be like, we can't really market someone like you with the shield. I think it's going to be, this country doesn't want a black man holding that shield, like those words specifically.
It's either going to be that. It's either going to be they're going to do something really subtle, and then Sam's going to be like, what does that mean? And then they're just going to double down.
Yeah, and then they're going to move on from it, or it is just going to be this like fucking like put the brakes on, like no one wants a black man with a shield, and then everyone's going to be like, oh fuck me, like it's going to be one of the two.
I'm excited. I'm buzzing for it, to be honest.
Yeah, but
it'll be soon as well.
Yeah, probably next episode.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way that their paths are gonna cross, like I said, is either because we've seen there's the footage of like the rally at like what looks to be a high school football game of the US agent showing up. They go, hey, football, we don't use our feet. That carry on.
Let's not start that discourse on this podcast.
I thought baseball was the great American game, but of course,
baseball is so much better of a sport than American football. No,
I don't get me wrong. I enjoy both, but if we're putting American sports, if we're ranking them, basketball is 100% at the top. Basketball is the most fun to watch. Baseball is fun. Baseball is fun and is like situationally fun. Like bottom of the ninth, you're down by 3, bases loaded, 2 outs, and someone hits a grand slam. That's fucking great. See the rest of it. See like the 4 hours leading up to it of like people hitting it strategically or missing it or like, oh, that was 1 inch over the line, so that doesn't count as a strike. Like basketball, then hockey because of the fights.
Yeah, okay.
Then
hockey,
baseball.
Yeah. American football just isn't that enjoying, man. There's too many stoppages.
I don't mind it, but like it's also I like having it on in the background. I couldn't go to a game. Maybe I could go to a game, but it's one of those things like I'll go to the pub if they're showing it, but like I will need to be drinking heavily and going, oh, my team won in hockey. You know what I mean? Fuck.
But yeah. So
I hurt my finger.
Back your table.
I smacked it off it. But I think the way they're going to introduce the pair of them to each other again will be either at a government building of some sort where Sam has like gone to be like, what the fuck is this? And Bucky's like, well, I'm going to get the shield back. Apparently he's mostly seen around this government building. Let me fucking break in and steal it. Or it'll be at that rally. Oh shit! I just thought of something.
Yeah.
The government could be like, we heard you apply for a loan and didn't get it. Would you like 3 times that money to come to this rally and officially give your seal of approval to US agent? And Bucky's coming to take the shield back.
They actually might do that as well.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, if they're
Disney, hire me so I can stop this because I don't like it.
If they're like, if someone from the government goes, we could give you 10 times what you applied for at the bank that you don't need to give back ever if you just come on national TV and pass the torch to US agent, and that's when Bucky shows up to take the shield back.
You know what I want? You know how I want them to meet, and I won't accept anything else other than this. I want them both to be like, fuck this, I'm going to go steal that fucking shield. And then...
they both plan their own heists, and then they both Tom Cruise down from opposite vents at the exact same time.
Shit like that, like, or like they're looking at each other through like windows or something, and they just like see each other and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing there?"
It's like
That's what I want.
it's
And
like
then
I'm not,
like,
I'm
and then
not
they both like backtrack and they end up in like some bathroom cubicle or something. They're talking. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
it's like I've not seen it, but I remember it in the trailer for I think it was Hobbs and Shaw, where it's like The Rock and Jason Statham are fighting through people on other like both sides of like a window, like down a prison.
Yeah.
Just they're both like doing their heist and they're like racing each other to the shield or something.
100%. That's what I want, man.
That's fair. Yeah. Oh man. As well, what I like with this is obviously fan theories around WandaVision and what was going on. You know, we had a lot. We had lots of them.
We did.
But they didn't really start to form until like episode 4. Because we still had no clue what was happening.
Oh, until we got that like backstory, we had no idea really.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, since it's obviously it's a lot less mysterious than WandaVision, it lets us actually make more.
Make more like instead of going. So this thing happened in a comic one time, but they did the exact same thing right here, and then instead of going like that, we actually know.
We're not sitting looking at the fucking sides of milk cartons in the episodes going, yo, that's a missing person.
Yeah, like, thinking back to whatever, it's a whole... Yeah, but, like... It's one of those things that... at least we know roughly where the story's taking us for the next episode. We don't know where the story's taking us for the next episode, but we know the direction it's aiming to, instead of, like, WandaVision, until the reveal with Agatha all along, we had no clue what was happening.
Absolutely zero for it. And to be honest, the only thing that's kind of like I'm not sure about, or I'm not sure what's going to happen or when it's going to happen or something in this is Zemo's role. That's pretty much the only thing we're unsure about.
Because
everything else has at least been semi-explained so far. All we don't know about how Zemo fits in.
I don't think Zemo fits with the Flag Smashers. Just personally,
I think if he does fit with the Flag Smashers, he's using them for a very specific purpose.
Yeah, I don't think, because, you know, as we've already said, the Flag Smashers' intentions and their end game is noble. It's good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, let them do their thing.
Yeah,
you want to rob banks? Go ahead.
Like, rob a couple banks, you know, get a little bit of anarchy, do what you want, but, like, at the end of the day, your message is, remember when we didn't all fucking hate each other.
Exactly. Like, this is good. Wholesome
and, you know,
stuff.
they're doing stuff all over the world, and maybe that's in an attempt to get the world to work together to stop them, is their end goal, maybe. But I don't think Zemo fits with that.
I think Zemo's a lot more fuck the Avengers rather than, hey, those 5 years were pretty funky. Because, I mean, we don't even know if he was around in those 5 years.
Yeah. But no, I'd like...
imagine, the man like lost his fucking...
We've hit a snag.
Yes.
Your whole explanation disappeared.
I'm saying, imagine the man lost his whole family in Sokovia, and then imagine he made like a few friends and stuff in those years when he was in prison or whatever, and then they all get blipped away.
Oh.
All this man knows is pain.
What if he used the blip to escape?
Oh, what if he just like disappeared and was like, and everybody thought he was dead in the blip? That's
yeah, like if when it happened, he realized that everything was going on. And
no chance he realized.
No, but like he just saw everyone like just disappearing, and like no, I don't mean like he saw. I don't mean like he envisioned the snap, but I mean like he saw the chaos that was going on,
and was like, you know
there
what?
and then, and was like, I can use this to my advantage, and like sprung himself. Yeah. And then for 5 years, he's just been like hanging out, doing whatever, because everyone was like, oh, well, he got, and then, you know, this is what, like a couple of weeks after the Stark snap. This is probably running at the same time as WandaVision. This is probably, you know.
Nah. I think this is after WandaVision. I think this is probably like.
That's like a month. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. After. Like a month at a push. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it does very much feel like everybody is just back to the normality of everything.
Yeah. So So that's the thing as well. So for Zemo, he's been able to like live his life for 5 years, not worry about it. But now his freedom's threatened that everything's back because people will be like, wait a minute, he should have come back to the present.
Yeah, where is it? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's another thing I would like to know. What's going on with your prison sentences? You getting 5 years chopped off?
Nah, I assume the people that were in prison and got snapped when they came back. Say you had a 15-year sentence, you served 5, you got snapped. I assume you've still got 10 to serve when you come back.
Fair.
Because that's
Still
not
whack.
the time sentence. You're not getting sentenced to 15 years of your life. You're getting sentenced to 15 years of your life in prison.
Yeah, but you also fucking died and disappeared for 5 years. And then came back
If
out
it
of nothing.
was a life sentence, you'd maybe be able to fight that because you could be like, "Yo, I died."
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe that's how Zemo got out. Maybe he was like, bro, think about it. Dust, dead, gone.
Exactly.
So, I guess we'll end it here for this episode.
Yeah.
We feel like we've talked over everything with WandaVision. We had a lot of things to talk about because we had no clue and we just kept throwing shit at the wall. Whereas, as we've said with this, we don't know what's happening, but we have an idea.
We have more of an idea, yeah.
We have an idea what's happening. So, I guess we'll end it here. Would you like to outro us?
This is Cameron, your host from the Silly Dimension, and me and my friend Jake here would just like to say thank you incredibly for your continued support on this series, and we shall see you next time with our Snyder Cut review, as we are probably going to talk for around 6 hours on the topic. See you next time, and goodbye from the Silly Dimension. Nah.